Hi everybody, welcome to another video. So today we're going to be looking at the Meiji Finer Force. So of all the guns, I think the Finer Force is probably the best made there is. It's an absolutely exquisite little tool. The only drawback I would say is the actual lever is plastic. I haven't had any problems with it at all. I don't drop the guns, but I haven't had any problems with it at all. It's just that you would have thought maybe it would be metal, but as I say, it hasn't been a problem. So, maybe it's fine. But anyway, these are exquisitely made, really well made guns. So what I'm going to do today is I have all four in the range. There is another one, but it's a pressure fed one. And I've only got gravity feed. So we're going to have a look at the four guns. We're going to do a spray out at the end of the video to see what the different patterns are like, and we're just going to run through these to see what the different guns do, and what the differences are. So they are color coded. We're going to start off with the T, which is this one here. We've got the R, which is this one here. We've got the B, which is this one here. And we've got the WB, which is this one here. So we're going to take the caps off and have a little look. So let's just move those across. Take the caps off and have a look, see if we can see what the differences are. And also we're going to have a look at the tips, see if there's a difference in the tips. So this is the T. Now this is a 1.4. Hopefully you can see there. Like that. That's a 1.4. You can see the amount of air holes are there. So now we're going to look at the R, which is also a 1.4. Have a look there. Air holes are the same. So we can establish that the T and the R, so the T and the R version are exactly the same, apart from the cap. So this is the T, this version here, and this is the R. Now hopefully you can see that the air holes are virtually the same in the center. So you've got the exit hole for the nozzle, the holes either side, there's two either side here, and both of those are the same, and they look exactly the same on both of them. The difference is the actual holes in the air horn. Now if you look at the holes in the air horn, you will see that the holes in the T, which is this one here, are slightly bigger, which would make sense because this actually uses, see if I can hold it there we are, that's better. This actually uses the T, the one that I'm wiggling, the blue one, actually uses about 1 CFM more air, which is about 12% more air than the R, which is this one here. So that's going to be our difference. The difference between these two, the physical tip size is the same. The exit holes for the air is the same. The only difference is the cap, which is quite common for most guns, to be fair. Now what we have here is we have the B. Now the B is regarded, let's run through actually what these are regarded for really. This is the T. This is regarded as a base coat gun really, for metallics and things like that. A good base coat gun. It will spray clear as well, but that's what it's recommended by Meiji for, is to spray base coats. This one, the R, the one that we saw just now, this is recommended. This is your best bet if you want an all-round gun. Supposed to use about 6.4 CFM as opposed to this one, which is about 7.4 CFM. That's at 2 bar recommended pressure. So this one actually uses less air and it's more of a universal cap. It's a little bit slower than this one, but it's a good universal gun. As I say, 1.4. If you're looking to buy one gun only, I would suggest this one, the R1, is the one to actually go for, because it's by far it's by far the most universal. So if you're not silly like me buying loads of spray guns, that would be the one I would recommend. If you're going to buy one for clear coat, I would definitely recommend this one. This is the B version. Why they call it a B, I don't know. You think they call it C, wouldn't you, for clear? But what we're going to do is have a look at this. Now, you will see here that as well as this being a 1.6, the actual configuration of air holes is far more. Remember, these two are the same, so we're going to look at these two. You see the amount of air holes in the B version? So we're talking a 1.6 tip as opposed to a 1.4, and we're also talking over a doubling of the exit holes around the tip. And we couple that to a cap that is very similar to the T. I mean, these two are more or less the same anyway. Very similar to the T cap, which is this one here. If you can see the B and T, you should be able to see. It keeps trying. I know my face is lovely, but there you go. Go away. You can see there that, why does it always do that? That's better. So you can see that the cap, the exit holes on the air horns are more or less the same. Now if you look in the center, you'll see that the air holes either side of the tip exit hole is the same. So these two caps are more or less the same. What makes the real difference is, as I say, the size of the tip and the air holes around that tip. The amount of air holes makes it much better for fast clear coat. So a little rocket, this thing. So if you're just after clear coat, I would go with that one if you want a fast clear coat gun. If you want an all-rounder, go with the R, because it's a very good all-round gun. As I say, it's not as fast as this for clear coat, but a good all-round gun. If you only want or can afford one or whatever, if you only want one, that's the one to go for. If you're mainly going to do base coats, maybe a little bit of clear coat, I would suggest you go for this one, the T, the blue capped one. Now the other one we got is quite new. This is a newer gun. I've had these others about 2 years. This one I've had about a year, and it's only recently came out. But this is the WB version. Now this is a 2.0 tip, so it's a 2mm tip. It's a big old tip, and you may think that you can only really use it for waterborne paint, which is what they're after, or what they suggest, not what they're after, what they suggest. Now it has the same air hole configuration as the, where's the R? That's the R, isn't it? As the R. You can see there, it's the same air hole configuration as the R, but it's a 2.0 tip. Now if you look at the cap is also a very similar configuration to the T or the R, because we've established that the cap on the T is very similar to the R, with the exception of it's got 6 exit holes, 3 each side to the left and the right of the tip exit hole. So the cap isn't the same. All these caps are different, apart from it looks like the T, and I think we said the R, didn't we? Yeah, the T and the R, no, the T and the B look the same, but the tip is totally different. One thing I will say about this, the WB, I've used it to spray waterborne base coat, I've used it to spray solvent base coat, and it actually does both really well, even though it's a 2.0 tip. Although I don't have it on full fluid, it does seem a bit much on full fluid, but it makes a cracking pocket rocket of a clear coat gun. I'll try and remember to put a link in the video of a few videos I've done with it. Well, actually it's one video I've done actually on YouTube with this as a clear coat gun, and it's an absolute little cannon. Works perfectly well, really well for clear coat. So if you want a super fast clear coat gun, this is the one to go for. So what I'm saying to you is water-based base coat, bit of solvent base coat, really fast clear coat gun, I would recommend you go for the WB. If you want a fast, good clear coat gun, then go for the B, which is this one, isn't it? No, that's the B. The B, go for the B. If you're looking for a good all-rounder, as I say, go for the R. And mainly base coat, solvent base coat, we'll do waterborne, but mainly solvent base coat, go for the T. Right, I'm going to put some fluid through this. It's going to be clear coat mixed up with a little bit of little bit of black tinter so that it gives it a bit of colour, and a little bit of thinners, same viscosity, Ford cup. It's going to be about 16 seconds, something like that, for a Ford cup, and we'll just see what it actually what it sprays like, get an idea of the pattern. So we're going to start with the R, Finer Force R. Put it onto 2 bar, a little bit more there, 2 bar, that's it. Full fluid, full fan, which will be the same for all of them. Obviously we're going to have the air adjuster on the gun wide open. So 2 bar, I'm going to keep it around about 6 inches distance. You're just going to have to trust me. Make sure it's straightish, otherwise we're going to get a crooked line. And see what we get. That's not a bad pattern. So this is the Force R, 160 litres per minute according to the Meiji website. You're going to get this sag because it's at an angle. So don't worry, we're going to look at all these at the end and compare them all. So that's the R. Next we're going to try the T. So now we're going to try the T version, Finer Force T. This one's supposed to put out a little bit less material, 130 litres per minute, still a 1.4. This is the one that we were saying about recognised more as a base coat gun, or recommended more as a base coat gun. So once again, recommended pressure 2 bar, set it to 2 bar, full fluid, full fan, etc. About 6 inches away, and we'll see what we get. Now that's definitely more of an eye pattern, I would say. The other pattern's much fatter. But as I say, we'll have a look at all these when we finish. We'll put them all in a row and we can see what we got. Anyway, so that's the T. Let's go on now to the B, which is the clear coat gun. Okay, so now we've got the B. Now this is a 1.6, remember 1.6, 180 litres per minute, so we're starting to get more material flow. As I say, it's 1.6. Same routine, everything fully open. We're going to run it at 2 bar, same as the rest of them, and obviously keep it about the same sort of distance. Make sure I've got that reasonably straight, and then we're going to give that a blast, see what happens. You can definitely see that it's putting out more material. Good pattern though, starting to get nearly 10 inches, which is not bad for a what you'd call a midi gun. And build quality of these is so good. Well, one thing people ask me actually while I'm on is about a special stand for the side cup guns. I just use a normal stand, I just go like that. That's all I do. It doesn't need a special stand. Yeah, anyway, so let's have a look at the WB version now, shall we? Right, so we've got the WB. Actually, you can see better the 3 exit holes I was talking about either side of the exit hole for the tip, and you can see it's quite a big tip, a 2.0, 200 litres per minute, so 20 litres per minute more than the 1.6 clear coat gun. But as I say, I've used this for clear coat before, and it's a demon of a little gun for clear coat. So we do it again at 2 bar, which is what they've all been at. Make sure that's fully open. Well, completely overdoing it on the fluid. Everything's open, 2 bar still. Yep. And see what we got. I suspect it'll be the same as the this one here, the B. Just more of it really, but we'll see anyway. Let's find out. Actually, more of a straight eye pattern. That you can see there's more material coming out, but yeah, big fan as well. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get these down and we'll just line them up and we'll just have a look and a chat about them. Okay, so here we are. We'll start off and have a quick look at the T. So you can see that's quite an eye pattern, I would say. As far as I can remember, I did 4 pulls on that, whereas the rest I did 3. So you'd expect maybe a little bit more material there. Definitely a slight difference with the R. it does flow a little bit more material, which you can actually see considering it's one pull less. You'll have to look at the video, but I'm sure I did one pull less. These three I did 3 pulls, and the T I did 4 pulls. But if you look at it, it's definitely a flatter pattern. And if you also look at the WB version, which is also a more of an eye pattern, and it's interesting that the WB there and the T are the two that's recommended for base coat. The R, which is this one here, is recommended as like a multi-purpose, and the dedicated clear coat gun, the B, also has a more squatter, a more of an O rather than an I pattern. So yeah, it's interesting that the 2 eye patterns are both recommended for base coat, which it normally seems to be the case. You seem to get most base coat guns seem to be more of an I pattern than an O. Although I can think of the wider 4 where that's definitely more of an O pattern, and that works really well as a base coat gun. So it's not just, you know, just saying that. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. You get an idea. It's in Imperial, 25.4 millimeters. To an inch if you're not sure about the inches, but yeah, hopefully we've learned something. I do enjoy doing the videos, although it's gets a bit of a mess now because I've got 4 guns to clean. Incidentally, I did use the same gauge, exactly the same gauge on all 4, so that we knew we were running at exactly the same pressure, just in case the gauges are slightly out. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching as always. Bye bye.